What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner. My name is CJ.
I'm Nate.
And we are here to have some fun with all of you out in Griddle Nation. If this is your first time joining us, this is a show, a podcast dedicated strictly...
Are we calling it a podcast?
Yeah.
A POD cast.
Boom. Here comes the
Boom.
ready or not.
Well, shout out to my boys.
Sonny, my man. It's a show. It's a podcast. It's an homage to Griddle Nation.
It is an homage.
Homage. So this is where we actually take all of your episodes and we share the love, we share the likes, we share the shares.
The inspiration
and
from the Griddle Nation.
As content creators, we understand the struggle and the fun and the joy. And can I say sometimes the sorrow?
I was going to say, let me know in the comments, how much joy is it to struggle?
Oh, dude, when you make an episode or you film a piece of content...
And your microphone's not on.
Oh,
hussy. Love you.
There you go. Still too soon?
Happens to all of us.
Or you're like, this is the one.
Yeah.
I bet you every single content creator, let me know, just say, yep, agree. Have you made a piece of content? You thought it was a banger.
1 million views, no problem.
Guarantee this one's going to go viral. And your mom is the only one who watched it.
Yeah. She watched it like 100 times, though.
Yeah, so you got 104 views. And then there's the ones that they're your filler episodes.
Uh-huh.
And they take off. I had one of those that, I don't really have, like, very many viral anything. But I do remember a couple of them, and one of them was, like, I needed to get some content out. I had to get it done. Obviously, we still wanted to
I don't know what you're about to say. I have no idea what you're about to say.
Cowboy stir fry.
Oh, yeah, it was a good one.
It was
wait, the one where you didn't put steak in it?
Correct. Which I did take a fair amount of crap for that. Took some heat. But that was one, it was like, that was a simple recipe. Something quick I could get through.
It was a good one. I like that.
And it crushed.
And then you did it again
with steak.
And it didn't do as
it
good
didn't
as
do
the
nearly
one.
as good as the first one.
Because all the comments were like, where's the steak?
Yeah.
Not much of a cowboy.
So then I made one. The ultimate cowboy stir fry.
I like that one
because I put steak in it.
I like that
but either way, I digress. So, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, guess what we do on here? We highlight breakfast,
we do
two breakfasts, two lunches, and two dinners. So, starting from the top in no particular order, this one comes in from Big Eric's Barbecue.
He's the new creator. I hadn't seen his stuff.
All right, well, I'm excited to see it. So here we go, starting...
1, 2, 3.
Go.
On it.
All right. Big Eric's Barbecue.
You recognize this?
What? Yes, I've made some of these.
I picked this one. CJ has made these, and he made the same mistakes, but he did one pro move right there in the beginning. He put pineapple juice into the pancake mix.
Genius. Wait, I don't remember making a mistake.
Me either.
Okay. He's coating pineapple in brown sugar.
Yeah, more sugar.
I like what you've done here.
Decent this is amount of butter.
We could argue about this, but this is a novelty breakfast, right?
Yes.
It's not like a...
And it's fun.
I think it's fantastic.
Delicious.
So you're saying the problem is he put the pineapple down first and then the...
No. That was great.
He's more brown sugar.
He actually mentions it, and I love this in content creators. He added too much pancake mix, and it kind of fell apart. He kept it in the video and then fixed it. I love that. Nothing bugs me more than when an influencer is, like, flawlessly perfect.
Kind of like your show used to be? Okay, these are looking gorgeous.
Yeah, Big Eric for the win.
Big Eric, well done, dude. I made these. So I'm gonna come back to this real quick because I'm leading the show right now. What mistake did I make in my pineapple upside down?
Man, guilty conscience. I barely said anything.
I don't have any guilt. I have nothing but liberty and freedom because I did not make a mistake. Yes, it looked like a circus confetti threw up all over it. But it wasn't a mistake.
I thought it was great. It looked beautiful. Want to go to the next one?
Let's go to the next one. All right. So, number 2.
Family favorite. Absolute family favorite.
Apparently everybody's favorite.
Love this girl.
Tori.
If you haven't followed Tori Breen, 3, 2, 1.
If you haven't, you probably know her even before I click on this. Because you've seen her.
She's great.
Amazing.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Another one kind of similar to the first one. She leaves all of the mistakes in. And I love it.
Yep.
It's real. It's real.
If you've not seen my show, I always own the mistakes.
Because we all make them.
Except for my upside down pineapple pancakes. There were no mistakes.
It was perfect.
Anyways,
CJ.
we move on.
Tori's
so
great.
We've got bacon here.
She puts...
Okay.
To the ground.
Just trucks it. Hash browns.
Yeah.
Some frozen hash browns, which that's great.
Our home
I'm all about
fries.
that.
Home fries.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah, they're square.
Yeah.
I like it. Nice dance move.
Does it move back into the bacon fat? How many times can we say that on this show?
Every time.
Yes, please.
That's how many times?
Yeah. Tori is one of my favorites because of this, and I think she's.
Okay. Way to go, honey.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we
We're
cook.
just gonna leave it there for a while. Okay.
It's how we cook. Sometimes it just happens, and you go with it. When life gives you lemons,
You make pineapple upside down pancakes
Lemon
or
jello.
upside down pineapple
yeah,
pancakes.
see? It's a lot of food too.
That's a ton. Oh, avocado.
See?
Making a little.
She just
bowl.
flashed the
What?
avocado in there, like, hey,
Hey. Hey.
could look like this. Yeah, I'm a fan of Tori. If you haven't followed Tori, go.
Yeah, I think that's one of the charming things about her, which I want to encourage you. I don't know, maybe it's just not, it doesn't fit the profile of your show or your content. Owning the mistakes is very charming, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that being said, as a content creator, there is a lane for the perfection, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's. I think everyone's getting tired of influencers that are just flawless and perfect, and everything they do is just spotless. That's not
It's not
real life.
I personally can't relate to that.
No.
Even though my cooking has gotten so much better from my very first episode to where we're currently at right now, where it's just
A little better. A lot. Did you say a lot better?
I said a lot better.
It's a lot better. I was just messing. I was just fooling.
You just joshing?
I was just
Fun.
boot scooting.
The little new boot scoot?
New boot scooting. New boot goofing.
New boot goofing. I think for content creators, maybe take this as some encouragement. As two guys have been doing this for a long time, and Nate's been doing it far longer than I have. There's magic in the mistakes. And I think it's fun to lean into the mistakes.
Mhm.
It makes your content relatable. I mean, I'm not going to die on that hill, because we produce a lot of really great content with some really high-end chefs and incredible chefs. And I want to make sure that the world knows how incredible they are. So, like I said, I guess there's a lane for each, right?
I find myself more often than not watching the Tori Breens.
Absolutely.
Everyone out there in Griddle Nation just having fun on their back porch. I love it.
Okay.
Another one. I love this guy. I love this guy.
Magoo! Here we go, Vinnie Shells.
Ready,
All right,
three,
Vinnie,
two, one.
Here we go. All right.
Go give Vinnie Shells.
All right. What up, cousins? If you don't
Love
know,
this
that's
guy.
how he starts every one of his episodes, and he wraps it up the same way.
Yeah.
I've not seen this one, but
We're
I know
all
how
cousins.
it ends. Go Birds. Oh, but dude, he's doing. Oh, yeah, he did tell me about this. that
He
was
made
making
fritters. I think fritters are like an unsung hero. I don't know what it is about fritters. I love them.
The word is a problem for
And
me.
there it is. The word is great.
It's an F word in my vocabulary.
F word.
I drop F bombs and I cooked F bombs.
Fritters and F bomb?
Yeah.
It's a flavor bomb, if that's what you mean, for another F word.
Okay, there it is.
Felt real good about
Oh, that's what I'm talking
it. So
about.
we did these on our show a couple of times.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of other people do them. Fritters are very, very easy. It's basically just a flavorful batter with chicken in it, so that when you do go to cook it, it's almost like a savory pancake.
Yeah, but it's not in the pancake lane.
No.
Because then, that's a fluffy
Mm-hmm.
texture. I don't know. But it definitely kind of leans in
Yeah.
more into the loaf, I feel like.
Loaf. It was a lovely loaf. I don't know why that gets you.
It's so good.
Inside
That's
joke,
a deep
sorry.
dive hole here.
I love that it gets his kids involved.
I
He
do
has
too.
his kids out there. This is like family time. You mentioned a second ago about real life. That's the kind of content I love watching.
Yeah.
And he nailed it.
And there we go. There it is.
You need to work on your spacing a little bit, Vinny. It's a big pile of goodness.
Yeah, and you got a whole bunch of griddle
Yeah.
real estate right over here.
The interesting thing about fritters, too, you can take it a million different directions based on how you season it.
I had never seen one, and I made one, and I think you didn't think I was going to do a good job, but I did do a great job.
I always think you're going to do a good job.
I made breakfast fritters, and they were incredible.
They were great.
I know. Anyway, Vinny,
It's a great pile of
one.
fritters.
It's a solid pile of fritters.
Fantastic
Oh, and
pile
this was
of
a
flavor
budget-friendly meal.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like it.
Oh, yeah, that's another
So
thing.
this was like under $20.
Fritters are inexpensive. Great
Flour.
party pleaser.
Flour, and then just your ingredient, cheap ingredients that you get to throw in there.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So make sure you go show some love to our boy Vinny.
Yeah, we
Vinny
do love
Shells.
Vinny. He's a part of Griddle Nation.
I
and
never
Griddle
asked
Crew.
him, how did he get the name Vinny Shells? Do we know?
Isn't that no?
Did he collect shells or something? Isn't that how you usually get it?
Did he sell seashells down
by the seashore?
by the seashore?
I want to laugh.
But we're not going to. We should probably just move on. Great job, Vinny. Right.
On to lunch number 2, Dylan Nobert.
Are you sure? Dylan O'Bear?
I hope so.
All right.
All right, and we're clicking. He's a new content creator. I hadn't seen his stuff until the link was sent to me. He does a deep dive on famous sandwiches from around the world, and he gives a little history lesson
on the club.
Yeah.
I think I learned a thing about the club. Do you know what club stands for or how they got it?
No, how?
Apparently, it was chicken and lettuce under a bun. CLUB.
Oh, so it is just a clever name.
Yes, quite in fact.
Quite in fact. I love this kind of content because he's showing you a great recipe, and he's giving you some history. Like, this is a really valuable piece. Oh, and salting the tomato. Gotta be.
Oh, huge deal.
Yeah,
beautiful sandwich.
Gorgeous. I almost never order a club, but I'd hammer that. It's so good.
Okay, so this. Oh wait, where did he rate it? At number 4? Was that where it was?
He's going through all of them.
Okay.
Either Dylan O'Bear
or
4. Dylan Nobert.
Dylan O'Bear.
Sorry,
Nobert. Yeah.
Ruining your
interesting fun fact.
What?
Diving into my world. We travel often.
We do?
Yes, we do. I wasn't asking, I was telling.
Cool. Same page.
I order a club sandwich at the airport when I'm in the specific terminal, at the specific restaurant and bar. I eat a club sandwich.
Sure. I haven't been with you on those trips.
No, you haven't.
Apparently we don't travel together.
Not anymore these days, which is really weird.
Typically at the airport, I go for, like, fried food.
It just depends.
I feel like it's just safe.
If I'm in a different terminal in Tampa, I'm eating Pei Wei.
One time, we had 21 hours of travel.
Oh.
Layover after delay after layover after delay.
We ate misery.
4 meals. 4 meals.
That was awful.
It was rough.
His suitcase fell apart. That's it. Somehow.
Oh, man.
It was a carry-on. And it still fell apart. If you guys don't know Ethan, he is the camera guy on my show. He is Ethan's segment, which is Hey CJ, Did You Know? Mm-hmm. But he's also a fantastic editor and videographer for multiple shows across the board.
He's like the Jekyll and Hyde type. Like, he is so incredibly talented in one area, and then a giant German Shepherd puppy.
Great Dane puppy that didn't realize his paws are coming in, and he just flip-flops all over the place.
All right, so we are moving on to dinner. My boy Andy.
All right.
Big fan of Andy. If you haven't followed Andy Wilson 2000, go give him a follow. 3, 2, 1. We're clicking.
Clicked.
All right, Andy is doing fish. CJ's going to hate this portion because I love it. This is flounder.
But what kind of... Oh, it's flounder?
Flounder.
That's a more light, flaky.
It is. It's a very delicate fish, but he does a pro move here. Anytime you are cooking for any protein, really, on your griddle, you want your griddle high heat hot, but you want to make sure the surface is dry. So this is actually some really, really good technique on how he did this. If you don't, and I'm sure you've seen this, or you at home, if you've cooked something on your Blackstone and it's kind of like gray first before you start to get caramelization,
steamed,
it's because the liquid on the outside, the moisture on the outside, had to steam off before the Maillard reaction could start.
I'm done
nerding out.
I had done that with a steak before, and it is a giant, like, huge letdown in your life.
Well, it's like there's a process to things, and sometimes cooking on your Blackstone. If you're new to Blackstone, high heat's your friend. Don't be afraid. Fast and furious, and then keep some of your other burners on low so you can move food over to slowly come up to 10. High heat, then move it to the slow side.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's actually what Andy did. He kept a high side and a low side. So that's obviously hot. You can see how hot Andy's
literally
cooking.
smoking hot.
Screaming hot. So and then goes down the fish. Fish cooks really, really fast. CJ would know because he cooks fish all the time.
All the time. Fun little side note. I really loved Guilty Pleasure. Hate me if you want. I will die on this hill.
What?
I loved Long John Silver's growing up. Into my marriage, we ate Long John Silver's. And I loved the chicken fried in that batter. And I know that fish was involved in that as well. The crunchies were kind of the best part that it sat in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the fryer crunchies?
Yeah. God, Hush Puppies with lemon juice on it?
Fryer crunchies, come on. So I picked this one because of technique. I really like this video. And he's got a bunch of fun stuff. He has a really fantastic Facebook group, too. Go make sure you follow that, as well as his pages.
Also the largest.
It is the largest.
Like on the planet.
Size doesn't really matter.
So these are good looking things.
So for this one, I picked that one just on technique alone. Technique alone.
Technique
dry your protein then high heat, and you get that really beautiful.
I mean, I think that applies on any cooking apparatus, wouldn't it?
Probably. Well, it depends on what you're cooking.
On open fire, does
we
it?
talked about it. Was it this episode or an episode before? I like to cook my eggs on high heat. A fried Southern-style egg, crispy edges.
I happen to agree with you.
You might lose your hand in some circles for doing that.
Yes. But like indoors, it's still going to be the same application.
I'd say 6 nights a week I'm cooking outside.
It's just more convenient.
And I can go high heat. I'm not worried about smoking out the house.
Yeah, that's actually a really big deal. All right.
I've got one more in the dinner section. Have you seen this guy?
I don't know, but apparently he cooks a lot.
It's right there in the name. Josh cooks a lot. You ready? 3,
I'm ready.
2, and we're clicking.
Sounds like Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I am a huge fan of this creator. If you're not following him, elegant, gorgeous food. Right?
More seafood.
Yeah, couldn't help myself. I saw it and I put it on the list. This one's halibut, though.
Okay. I've never had halibut.
You could try it just for the halibut.
Okay. I'll give that one to you. I'll give that one to you. There you go. Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it. Here's the reason why I picked this one. Some content is just really fun to watch. Other content you learn a ton from. This guy's technique is flawless. Josh cuts everything so tiny and small because he knows later that's going to be important, because it's not like you don't want any single ingredient to overpower any other ingredient.
Look at that thinly
Gorgeous,
shaved. Right? That's cabbage, right?
Stunning, right? Absolutely stunning. This was not hard
avocado
either.
salsa.
Sometimes like chefy food, it seems difficult because it seems like there's a lot going on. But Josh, I love all of his content, all of it.
It usually seems difficult because it's plated so well.
Presentation, you eat with your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's an area that I've learned to shine in and love to shine in.
In what? The presentation?
In presentation.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
it's one way that you can kind of entice the person you're feeding before they get a chance to try it. It's funny, we were talking, I remember I was talking to somebody recently, we were talking about like why did you become a cook? And it wasn't to cook for myself. It was to cook for other people.
Mm-hmm.
A happy cook is the cook that everyone else enjoys the food. If I enjoy it too, that's great.
Sure.
But I don't know how many times have you had a party, you have a bunch of people over, you're cooking a ton of food, everyone makes plates, but you don't.
Yep. Yeah, oh, dude, that
All
happens
the time.
almost like synonymously. Like every single time, that's exactly what happens.
I'm nibbling.
Yeah.
I'm eating the
As
whole
I'm
time.
going. Yeah.
But like getting to stand back,
just watch.
Sizzle's going
Listen.
on, people are eating their plates, everyone's having a good time, everyone's got a drink in their hand.
Yep. And then you start to hear oh my gosh, CJ, shut. Like, that's literally the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's probably the same way everybody else in Griddle Nation feels. I don't know, leave it in the comments below. Why do you guys love cooking on your Blackstone?
It leads back into content too. Like, why are you making the content?
Yeah, why are you sharing and creating content on
Because
Blackstone?
you want other people to share the thing that you love too.
Yep.
And that's the thing I love about content. That's the thing that really draws me to content. If you guys know content creators that do that, or ones that you love, who aren't getting their fair shake, they aren't getting their
fair share?
Their fair share.
Their portion.
Their portion. Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know to follow them. Let us know who we should be looking at, some videos. If it's your stuff, let us know in the comments down below, and other videos that you would like to see in the future.
Yeah, we definitely want the inspiration in the comments.
From
so
the Griddle Nation.
If we find a slick video that you guys posted, we will for sure share it and
probably
maybe we utilize it here on the show. I don't know.
This was a fun one. I hope you guys loved the show. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes. And again, if there's someone that you think is a fantastic content creator, let us know who they are so we can check out their stuff. And everybody else on the show, thank you all so much for hanging out. CJ, it was good seeing you, buddy.
Great to see you too, Nate.
See you next time.
Later, guys.